Good afternoon, everyone. Today, as you know, we have our webinar about AMU, Azione per Mondo Unito in Italian language. And first of all, I want to control if the translation is okay. Is okay? Okay. Is the translation okay online? Let me know.
Sí.
Thank you. So I introduce first of all myself. I'm Merveille. I'm from the Republic of Congo. I'm 25 years old, and I'm a student in first year of a master's degree here at Sophia University in economics and management. And in this room, there are my colleagues, our special guest, Francesco Tortorella, also Lia of AMU, both of them. We have also our special host, Joe Clark, who is here. He's a member of EOC and his wife. So this webinar is one part of our course of social, civil, and communion enterprises, which we call civil economy. Our teacher is Professor Benedetto Gui. He is here with us. So in this course, we study civil economy that include the economy of communion, also the economy of Francis, in the way to understand which is the common good and the importance of the common good. So now I want to say a few words about Sophia University. What is Sophia and why? So Sophia is this university born from the Focolare movement, founded by Chiara Lubich. And yes, there are several programs here. One of them, of course, economics and management, in which we are students. And there are also other students in other programs, like Odontologia Trinitaria, for the culture of unity, also politics sciences, also philosophy, pedagogy. So the particularity of Sophia is about how to live. Here at Sophia, we not just study, but there is also life. And one of departments we have here at Sophia is, we call it community life, which help us to how to live in residencies, because there are residencies of students here. And one of coordinator of this community life is online, will be online. Her name is Silva. She's from Brazil. She's one of those receivers here, those helpers to integrate this university for documents, how to live with the others, because at Sophia, there are students, those come from different cultures, many countries, so it's not easy to live in interculturality. But here it's possible, and we practice what we learn, especially in civil economy, this way to understand the common good, to care about the well-being, to put the person at the center. So now I want to give the stage to Marta Parancheva, who is our doctor here at Sophia in judgment and managerial decision-making. She's our teacher in first year of a master's degree in economics and management. Marta, the stage to you.
Thank you, Merve. Welcome, everyone. I'm very glad to see Lia and Francesco here with us, but also all the people that are coming in to the Zoom and maybe are following us via YouTube. So welcome to everyone. I was asked to say some introductory words because I won't talk a lot, because I think that Francesco and Lia really have a lot to tell us about from their experience and their work, which is so rich. But just to introduce us to the topic of today's webinar, which is on human development and communion. So let's say this combination of words, which is not so usual. We do not often hear about such binomial, let's say, such a combination that puts together the development and the communion. And just to tell, I think maybe most people here, or maybe everyone who knows the economy of communion, knows that in launching it in 1991, Chiara Lubich had this idea that companies would put in common part of their profits, and in order to address some very urgent issues as she saw them, let's say, aching in the humanity at that time in 1991 in front of striking inequalities, for instance, in Brazil, where she, let's say, launched the project of the economy of communion. One of the aims of the goals of this profit sharing was, let's say, to fight the indigence, the misery, we can say poverty. And how to do this in more than 30 years of history of the economy of communion, I think that we can say that it has been an ongoing process of understanding the form, the right way, let's say, to put in practice, let's say, this culture of communion and of unity that underlies, let's say, is underlying the inspiration of the economy of communion. And just I wanted to stress that it is not an easy task. When we say fight poverty, for instance, we can right away think of various questions that are linked to this statement. We can start asking ourselves what kind of poverty. It is also in the international debate, both in the academic world, but also among practitioners and also policymakers. It is already, let's say, well documented fact that actually poverty cannot and should not be treated as only a fact of, let's say, lack of sufficient economic financial resources. So, for instance, measures like the poverty line are not enough in order to grasp, in order to give us a clear understanding of the various facets that poverty and indigence can actually take in different parts of the world, in different contexts. And as being a reality, the economy of communion, and also in this collaboration with AMU, del Mondo Unito, that Francesco and Lia are going to present us today. Obviously, also this, let's say, aspect of the different cultural, economic, historical contexts in which the economy of communion would is trying, let's say, to put into practice this helping the brothers and sisters in need. I'm sorry, we have an interference here, is not an easy task. So, for instance, a multidimensional view of what development is, and one of my questions that I would like to ask, since now Francesco and Lia, is exactly what do their practice and their experience add to this vision of poverty in multidimensional terms. But also, just to add one more element from the international debate on poverty, there are very contrasting visions in regards to how should we approach, is it enough, for instance, to give financial aid, for example, to countries who are struggling with, let's say, starting to progress in various terms. We can here think of the work, for example, of Jeffrey Sachs, who arrived maybe more than 15 years ago at estimating the amount of money that are needed as financial foreign aid from, let's say, rich countries to poor countries in order to eliminate poverty. So it is a very strong statement, but maybe other both academics and practitioners would say a very innocent one, because the underlying problem is much more complex, and it is not enough, let's say, to send, for instance, economic aid in order to solve intricate and again multidimensional problems that hamper the development in certain contexts. So, for instance, we could think also looking at Merveille and also our other students coming from the African continent, we can think of the work of Dombisa Moyo, who are now, let's say, used this very strong expression and called this foreign aid from rich countries to poor countries as debt aid. So an aid that actually generally does not help to promote progress and development, but to the contrary, hampers it and can be very can trigger vicious circles of corruption and so forth. So I don't want to take more time. I am really curious, as I think also our public, to give the floor to Francesco and to Lia, and really ask them to share with us this experience, because AMU has been a partner, a crucial partner for the economy of communion in this process, let's say, of evolution, of finding out what is the specific approach, what is the particular way to, let's say, approach this topic of development, and what is, the contribution, the specific contribution that economy of communion can give in this field. So thank you since now, and I leave you the floor.
Okay, thank you, Marta. I just want to remember that we have also Maria Helena online, who is the president of the Brazilian EOC Association, and she can add something when, feel free, Maria Helena, to add something later. So now the floor to our special guests, Francesco and Lia.
Thank you very much, Merveille. Thank you, first of all, thank you for this invitation. We are very happy to be here again after a few years. And well, first of all, apologize for our English. We are not English mother tongues, and we are from a Latin way of thinking. So we will try to translate our ideas in English, and we trust the translator to translate back to Latin languages. So it will be interesting. So just some words to introduce ourselves. I am Francesco Tortorella. I'm 45. I'm married. We have 3 children. And well, I grew up with a passion for poverty and human development. That's why I also studied human development and international cooperation at university. And I'm working in this field till 2005. Actually, I'm in charge of the International Cooperation Department in AMU, and working with my colleagues, Lia, and other colleagues. So, Lia.
Well, thank you for the invitation, Alobo. I'm from Paraguay. I work with AMU 2016.
2016.
Mhm.
And I was a student here in Sofia 9 years ago. And I'm so happy to be here again. And nothing. Thank you again.
So we would like to start with a short video introducing AMU and our work all around the world, and then we will go on. So we share the screen. Allora, qui.
Come tutto nel desktop, comunque si può scegliere dal desktop, si può aprire il desktop.
Ok.
Video one.
Ah, però dobbiamo condividere anche l'audio.
Si può mettere in stop?
Aspetta. So.
Let's start. Okay. Let's share again.
Again.
Okay.
Voilà.
Also, no. Let's check both.
Aspetta.
Also this one.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
It's hard to explain a dream. We at AMU put it right into our name: Action for a United World. We work to make it happen together with the most vulnerable communities, realizing projects of international cooperation and global citizenship education in full respect of social, cultural, economic, and environmental issues. We focus on the individual in every project, aiming at their full integration. Each of them brings to the table their own talents and resources, but also their needs and aspirations. When we operate in countries with less favorable economic environment, we fight for safe and fair working conditions and a proper salary. We promote wholesome education, microcredit, and new productive activities inspired by the economy of communion. We support health programs together with local institutions and organizations, facilitating the access to drinking water, proper food, and health care. In case of humanitarian crisis, we give first aid care and offer programs with the goal of restoring the economic and social conditions. We work with families, companies, and organizations to promote employment and social inclusion for people in need, especially migrant and refugees. We facilitate access to lower and higher education and promote human rights and peace through the education to global citizenship. Our style is inspired by the Focolare movement, with whom we cooperate to spread the culture of dialogue and unity in a continuous development of communion. Each of us, supporters, workers, beneficiaries, is a protagonist. We can receive what we need and at the same time donate what we have because we are brothers and members of the human family. This is our dream, a united world.
Okay, so now we will highlight some keywords about our approach to human development and international cooperation. I will share the screen. Okay. Great. Voila. So, what we are aiming for? First of all, we are aiming for generating positive social impact, which means not just providing goods or services to people in need. This is a first very important idea which founds our approach. As you know, we are used to think about aid. When we think about international cooperation, we think about aid. But usually aid means offer or provide goods or services to people in need. So this is something related to the international cooperation operators. That's something owned by the operators. At the contrary, we aim to contribute to a positive change in the lives of people and society around them. So to contribute to a positive change in life is something really more complex, is something that is owned by people and not by us, operators. Dreams are owned by people, their future. Operating this way needs a kind of change in our mind and in our approach to human development. Our approach, we call it development of communion, which is a particular perspective of human development characterized by the centrality of relational goods for human development, for people's human flourishing. So, something more about development of communion. This approach has two main features. First of all, multidimensionality of development. Economic and material sphere of the development, the psychological and cognitive sphere of development, and the first two, more or less, we know about them. We know something about them. The social relational sphere of human development, here we know less about this kind of human development, but you in Sofia are more used to talk about these issues. And the fourth sphere is a spiritual sphere of human development, which is a sphere really unknown by the international cooperation organizations, especially outside the European culture, is something really unknown, but is a part of human being and is a part of human development too. So we have to take it into account in our work. The second feature of our approach is reciprocity of gift. That's to say that we don't work only to give something to someone in need, which could be similar to a market approach, but we work for creating and generating reciprocity between and among people who participate in a project in different rules. So reciprocity of gift means a free gift, so freedom in giving, gratuity in giving, and reciprocity in giving. So this is the typical goal we work for through our projects. because we know that full development comes through the gift of self and not only from receiving some aid. So what we do? We use the capabilities approach, aiming to a gradual expansion of people's real freedoms. I think you already know something about it. Amartya Sen founded this kind of approach, but there was some big, how to say, philosophers before Amartya Sen. I will mention the Italian Maria Montessori, 1 century before, and a lot of others. Then we accompany people and communities to discover their own development potential. So this is, it's not us who create the development of people and communities. They are the owners of their development. Our role is to accompany them in this path to their development discovery. Then we collect needs and pursue people's dreams. This is the first step of our work. Collect needs, accompany people to express their needs and find their dreams, and then pursue their dreams. They usually need some resource more to pursue their dreams, but they know their dreams and they have the potential to achieve it. Our specific feature is relational impact. You know, impact means a lot of things. We try to include a lot of meanings of impact, but our specific kind of impact is relational impact. Relationships with people and among people are valued in particular. This means that we try to generate relationships through our projects and evaluate the creation of relationships among people. This means trust, community ties, belonging, and so on, a lot of other things. So now we can go on with another video presenting one of our projects in Brazil called Profor, a business accelerator for economy of communion companies. And then Leah will go on. This project is realized together with AMPECOM. We know Maria Elena is here with us from AMPECOM, and we are, the video shows a first edition of Profor. We are going on at the moment planning the third edition. Hope it will take place next year. So. Abbiamo messo, sì, condividi.
If I had to introduce you to my country, I would talk about its natural and architectural beauty, the richness of our cuisine, and our culture. I would also tell you about our people, their strength and their courage in the face of the inequalities that oppress them. I would tell you about those who promote change every day, trying to open up new possibilities, for example, through entrepreneurial projects that from north to south create new job opportunities for those in need. I would tell you about Profor.
One day, they came to talk to me about the AMPECOM project, National Association for an Economy of Communion, and afterwards, the beauty salon was born. At that point, my dreams had died because I had many difficulties with my first salon, and I did not want to work that way anymore. It was at that moment that I decided to participate in the Pro4 program, and I took the course. When I saw that the salon was becoming a reality, because today grace and beauty is a reality, I realized that we need to believe in our dreams. Today, grace and beauty is a reality. We work here, and we have 3 employees. We are happy to welcome our customers. We work with the women of the community, with those who do not have the possibility of seeing their dreams come true because of their financial conditions. What we do is for the benefit of these people. If there is a young person who wants to learn to give a manicure or do brushing, we make it work in this project, inside the salon.
Olá.
Hello, my name is Ana Rita from the company Caring for Living, and I am a nurse. Caring for Living provides an accompaniment and transportation service for the elderly during their free time. Do not worry, I'm a nurse. I can help you. Do you know that the World Health Organization suggests that aging must be active? We are here now just for this, for you.
Pro4 means change. It wants to improve the quality of life for people who are in vulnerable situations through the promotion of social enterprises. The micro-enterprises that are promoted can be managed by these same people, who are thus transformed into small entrepreneurs, or they can be companies that offer goods and services useful for improving the lives of vulnerable people. Or finally, they can be companies created for the purpose of generating work for vulnerable people. In this process, Pro4 offers training, technical support, personalized coaching, and a small initial capital.
Sometimes I ask, how did I get involved in this program?
Eu sempre tive sonho de ter o meu próprio negócio. Mas não deu certo.
I always had the dream of owning my own business, but I never succeeded because I did not have the knowledge to do it.
Do negócio.
At a certain point, I was determined to move to Sao Paulo.
Pela história de Zezinho.
The story of Zezino is already a story of communion. He was already a professional. He was a boss for me. But at a certain moment, he started calling me partner. I could be his student and an equal. In the EOC, I found security. I feel part of this project. I am part of it. I feel that this project also depends on me. I feel like a builder of the project. Pro4 is a program, but it's also a family. It has become an extended family.
Pro4 is not simply financial aid. It encourages reciprocity between people because everyone has something to give. This is why the protagonists of the project receive initial capital from a mutual fund to implement their business plan. Once their business plan is in place, Entrepreneurs reciprocate by contributing back into the fund. In this way, it is possible to finance the projects of other people in low-income situations. It is a path of communal development.
Campo Fértil surgiu assim, mas antes de existir a
When Fertile Field was formed concretely, in essence, it already existed. How many companies had I previously created? I do not know. I was an entrepreneur with different ventures and different collaborators and employees. Then God wanted me to lose everything, so I had to start over. But this time looking for pursuit where I have the opportunity to share. I understood that God desires that everything be distributed and shared. When I agreed to share, not partially, but completely, I saw the multiplication of the loves and the words, "Give and it will be given to you," became real. Because the more we give, the more we receive. Because God is a Father that does not allow himself to be outdone in generosity. I do not know if I answered your question on how and when I met Proffer, but everything that happened as God wanted. He managed to change even Roberto. Roberto was a good entrepreneur. His business expanded greatly, and then he lost everything. At that point, he started all over again, but this time with the will to share. I found a young man who had studied at the university who came and embraced the idea and created a delivery project. And then there's Ju, for example, who is here like us and has covered enclosure to produce seedlings. When we received an investment, we created several small proffers. Now many families are part of this process. They are all small proffers. If you stop and look, you'll find here that there are about 20 families here. There are 20 proffers.
Generating integral development for people and communities also means supporting the emergence of inclusive businesses that make strong choices of environmental sustainability for the respect and protection of health and the environment.
A presentation, well, this is Fruits of the Land, the project that tries to revive the local economy. The sector that I developed most was that of agriculture, because I was already an expert in organic production. I was an organic producer when no one wanted to be one. Afterwards, I convinced other farmers to become organic producers and encouraged them to sell in farmers' markets. In 2016, it was me and 3 others. My neighbor, who produced with conventional agriculture, used a lot of poison. Then his father died as a result of too much poison in his system. Even his uncle died from too much poison. They were strong men, and they died from the poison. This is also why organic is everything for us.
Okay. Now I continue with key word participation. No, one of the important point of the development of communion is look for the solution together, starting from a relationship between equals. This doesn't mean that there are unequal conditions initially, but we can enter into the relationship with this attitude of recognition of the other as another self, beyond any difference and force of power, in order to establish parity that allows us to co-create together. For this reason, the participation and leading role of the people in situations of social vulnerability are fundamental. In Argentina, we are carrying out a feasibility study with 2 groups of young people who are in the houses of the Facendas de la Esperanza for the recovery from drug addiction. Through a path of training and self-reflection on one's own life, we hope to get to know these people better, their needs, pains, and dreams, starting from which to project a new intervention that can better accompany the process of change they expect for their life. In Uruguay, we have carried out a study through interviews with people deprived of liberty. In this case, due to the restriction of life in prison, a longer process could not be carried out. The project idea initially proposed by the local NGO was enriched after having the responses of the interviewees. The reality was more complex than expected, and there were very important situations that were not being considered, such as the high number of people deprived of liberty with drug dependency and sentence-related drug trafficking. This aspect will now be included in the project, together with an accompaniment for psychosocial health and accompanied social reinsertion. Ecuador, another country. It has been possible to carry out a micro project with young people from 3 communities through which we were able to study their realities, share with them, get to know them, learn about their life project, their personal dreams, and their dreams for their communities. In the coastal area of Ecuador, where these young people are found, has suffered from a lot of discrimination due to the ethnic difference of its population. And the state of Ecuador has historical social debt for the development of the provinces of Eastern Ecuador. Currently, young people are under threat of drug trafficking and the new mafia of gangs. From the final report of the study, it was possible to know, for example, that there was a great potential in other groups of young people already organizing this community, who are cocoa producers. The great passion of adolescents for caring for the environment was also discovered, an aspect that comes from the culture itself, with a strong relation with nature and from product and labor activities such as fishing and the cultivation of typical fruit of the region. Young people want to protect all of these from being exploited by big outside businessmen, to stay in their communities, innovate, and protect their culture. Listening to the voice of people, empower them, give strength to actions, lays a strong foundation for positive change, enrich us as external operators, discover aspects not seen from the outside, and put us in a fair relationship as human beings.
Now we will watch together the last video, which is about a project we are actually carrying out in Burundi. This project called It's Possible is a microcredit and microfinance project carried out together with our local partner, Kasubu, a Burundian association, and together with the Economy of Communion, which is partially financed by the Economy of Communion and enterprises all around the world.
ubu unye nakoze inotuma akazodza nzaka gukora imodoka
nshaka kuba umuganga
nzaka kuba umwigisha
nshaka kanzoba umujiji
ese nzoyubaka inzu niniya cyane nzoca ngura inka.
When you're young, you have lots of dreams. I wanted to be a government minister. I didn't manage to become one. But now with microcredit, I can fulfill other dreams. My name is Emilienne. I am a native of Rukanda Hill. I am married and we have 3 children. I got to know about community microcredit during a training course. We learned how to save our own money without relying on outside help. Instead of someone giving me money, I prefer them to teach me how to manage it well. Now I can buy milk for the children, meet my family's needs, and repay the loan. Before I heard about microcredit, I didn't do anything. But now I have credit to run my business. With the earnings, I have bought a pig. My wish would be to sell it, and with that and the proceeds of my business, I would like to buy a milk cow.
We all have dreams and we all need support to remove the obstacles that prevent us from realizing them.
With the We Can Do It project, we have identified microcredit and community microfinance as 2 tools for developing local communities. We operate in 6 provinces in Burundi: Bujumbura, Cibitoke, Kayanza, Ruigi, Bururi, and Rumonge. Our commitment is to accompany communities in seizing opportunities for change, so as to realize their dreams, because we are certain that together we can do it.
Okay, so we will stop here. As you can imagine, a lot of reflections and ideas lies beyond all we told you today. We tried to include all those reflections in a guidelines document, this one, 100 pages, so a little bit heavy, but hopefully we will have more occasions to talk about this. And now we would like to share some ideas with you.
Okay, thank you so much to both of you. Thank you for this nice presentation. And now we want to open the dialogue. So the priority is here in classroom to my colleagues of first year of economics and management. But online, we have also some students, those are in second year, they do a double degree at to the University of Rome. So last year they attended this course, but they are with us. They will feel free also to ask a question or to make a comment. But first of all, let's start in classroom. And I just asked to my colleagues who want to ask a question or to make a comment, just come please here in front of, because we have just one camera for, they can't see you behind the camera. Also our micro is here. Just come and introduce yourself in the way to know you. Then ask your question, our special guest will answer. Thank you.
Can I start with a question?
Yes, Sam. Thank you.
Thank you for the presentation. It was very interesting. My name is Julio Cesar. I'm from Brazil, South Brazil, the same city as Maria Helena. Oh. Yeah. I was wondering on the slides that you presented, you mentioned, you talked about relational action that you do, right? And you used three keywords. It was free, gracious, and reciprocal. I was wondering if you could talk a little bit more about these 3 points, because the first two, which is free and gratuitous, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
What's the difference? Like, could you talk a little bit more about these 3 points?
Mm-hmm. We will answer.
Yes, directly, yes, okay. But in the sense to make a dialogue more.
Okay. Okay, what we said is that we try to generate reciprocity through our projects, during our projects. So reciprocity needs an action from both sides, no? Giving from both sides, but there is no reciprocity if we oblige someone to give. So the first feature is the freedom in giving. So what we do, we try to create situations, opportunities, suggest some possibilities to give something of ourselves, and each one of people participating in the project will choose freely which way he can give, what can he give from himself. He better knows what he owns, so he can choose. So this is the first feature. We ask for reciprocity, but we cannot oblige, and we don't want to oblige. We will lose the opportunity to live a real reciprocity if we oblige people. So the second one is gratuity. we are giving something through our projects. We are giving resources, means, opportunities. We are giving something, but we do it with gratuity. So we don't ask for something in change. And we need people also to live this kind of dimension. So we suggest them to try to give something without asking. So when this situation comes from both sides, we observe reciprocity living in the projects, and we watch a real achievement of human development from people. They frequently say that they achieved their development when they discovered how rich they were, no? How many things they had to give. They don't say thank you very much for what they gave us. They say thank you very much for the opportunity for me to give.
Can you give an example of what they can give back?
Sorry?
Can you give us an example, concrete example of what they can give to you?
Time and knowledge from local culture, maybe. Times, talents, knowledge, contacts, important that.
Technical knowledge
Technical
too.
knowledge, but from the local culture, maybe with some
Back to you, but also
to
yes,
others,
among them.
And it's interesting the intercambio, como se dice this? Interchange with the person from different communities, but all them are in vulnerability situation, but they feel more strong when they discover this. Oh, we have this. Oh, interesting, and they made so many things with this discovery.
Okay, I see one question online, then we come back in classroom. There is, at Sophia, we have also PhD students, and one of them is who I want to ask a question. His name is Abdullah. Yes, he attended also this course with us. So Abdullah, please.
Thank you. Thank you very much for what you are doing, for whatever you are doing. I want to thank you with all my heart. I want to ask you one thing. Your way to support local communities, it's good. It's fantastic, first of all, and it works, which is also, of course, the most important thing. It gives results. It gives material results and human results, psychological results, and so people really feel that they are people. I mean, right? They said in one of I think in one of the interventions, they said we don't want aid. We are happy that somebody could teach us how to manage money or how to manage a business, and we'll do it alone ourselves. And this is also connected to what Marta Pancheva was, Dr. Marta Pancheva was saying before about that aid of Dambisamoyo. That's all true. Now, my question is this. Unfortunately, since always, African countries are distressed by the burden of debt. Now, this burden of debt is, if we consider the wealth of the Western companies, but also to China, for example, it's really ridiculous. It's just very small. So, which means that, just an example, a comparison, to cancel this debt for Western countries and also for China is like for each of us to give away, really, the comparison is like €8, something like that. So, and this would free forever the burden of the debt and will open a huge space also for AMU to do a lot more with small resources. So I just would like to have your point of view. Thank you very much, and again, congratulations.
Yes, so it's a very large issue, but what we can say is what we try to do is to empower people to for a real local social and political participation. Why? Because if we try to solve the problem from outside, we will repeat the same, how to say, the same mechanisms in which European creates, European recreates, European recreates again. So we have to recognize our responsibilities, our governments and companies' responsibilities. At the same time, we cannot do alone as NGOs. We need local awareness and local participation to these processes. So what we try to do through our projects is get people aware about these issues and aware about their rights to participate, to ask their governments, to talk with their governments and create possibilities to come si dice, affrontare, to face these issues together.
Okay, before Lucas, I see you raise your hand, but please, before you, here in class, I don't know if, yes, after Boris, Lucas, you can ask your question.
Okay. Okay, once more, thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much for this presentation. My name is Boris Nyembo. I'm from the Democratic Republic of Congo. I'm also a student in economics and management. Just a quick question. I was really interested when in the video we were talking about Bira Shoboka in Uganda, that Burundi, yeah, that microcredit enterprise. But I'm a little bit curious for knowing how do you approach this phenomenon, since in Africa is really spread in all the countries we have microcredits. So what is the difference between these microcredits from AMU and others microcredits? Since Jesse was asking also about gratuity, how do you approach it? Since we know that if you lend money to someone, there is an interest rate. That notion of gratuity, does it mean that people, for example, get this money without any interest rates when they have to return back that money, or how does it function? That is my question.
Okay. A little bit. Okay. Thank you. So our specific approach to microfinance is, well, in English, it's called SILC, Internal Saving and Loan Communities. What we give from outside is training and means to manage. We don't give capital, financial capital. Okay, capital comes from the members of each group, who are people, really people in need, poor people, economically poor people, but they discover little by little the possibility to save. Little by little sums each week, little sum, some cent, they begin to save among them. Each group is formed by 20, 25 people from the same community. They meet each week. So we give them training about how to manage the group, how to manage capital, how to save, how to give loans, how to give back. This kind of training is gratuitous. So we give it without asking. But the management of the capital of the group needs that each one of them gives back the loan. So they can ask for a loan to the group. The group together decides if to give the loan or not, based on some conditions they ask to the person. So they study the request, they study the feasibility of the project proposed from the person, and they decide about the loan. One of the rules is that each people can ask for a loan for an amount 3 times the amount is saved. So during the year, we have some groups from 13 years running. So during the years, the capital grows, so they can ask for more. We actually have in Burundi, we actually have 200 groups, so more or less 4,000 people participating. We are growing through this project. We aim to arrive to 400 groups. So more or less, the project will involve 10,000 people with their families. So more or less 50,000 people all around the country. And the last goal of this program is to create a local financial institution, like a cooperative financial institution. It's a local juridical kind of microfinance institution with the aim to give some more credit to people or groups that need a bigger sum of credit. So this institution will have a partially external fund and partially will come from the groups, from the capital of the groups.
Okay, thank you. Before Luca's question, I will ask to Professor Benedetto, maybe you want to say something, and then we can say to Lucas to ask his question.
Not only students, but professor too. Okay, thank you. I've been very interested in reading the document that you shared with us. By the way, I am proud to know that there was a contribution of at least one of our colleagues from Sofia, Maria Alicia Paglione. And there was one point that struck me. When you speak about non-violent communication. Around this concept, maybe you can say something about this. What I realized is that the economic side of development projects is not probably the most important, or certainly not the only one, because there are all these sides with our sociological, psychological, even certain anthropological elements which contribute to an approach which can, how to say, value what people have themselves to do, to give, to contribute, with respect to the traditional view of something arriving from the rich countries with some capital to donate. Or,
Leah is a very big expert of nonviolent communication. She is our expert.
It's my passion, but the language is my problem in this moment because my English is so baby.
Don't worry, Elena, there is also a translation. If you can say one word in English, one word in Italian, even here, some students here Italian.
But maybe you can speak and I complete your words.
Okay. Yes, we tried to apply our spiritual inspiration from Chiara Lubick. We tried to apply it to our work. So when she speaks about farsi uno, how to say it in English? To make as one. We looked for some methodological approaches to apply this inspiration in our work. And we found nonviolent communication, which is a way to meet people inside people. So to get to know people, get to meet people inside their lives, hear to their lives before everything. Enter people's life, trying to think with people, with their categories, with their ideas, in their world. Try to enter their lives before everything, I would say. So this is the first step for us, for our work. Before thinking on solutions, also before thinking on people's needs, because we don't know their needs. We really don't know their needs. Sometimes even they don't know. So it's a way to establish a kind of unity before working together. I suggest you to read something about it, study something about it. There are some courses, online courses and presential courses. But I will say that understanding nonviolent communication needs to apply it. So if you would like to know about it, you will need to apply it in your life, I will say, not only in your work.
Thank you so much. We see here Maria Elena is not online, so we can't listening for her. So here in class, I don't know if our special host, who is one of the members of EOC, want to say something, even introduce himself or to comment.
I like this was a little more detailed than we had last week, so it's good. Yeah, my English, sorry. So I'm wondering about when someone applies for, in Burundi, who applies for a loan and they don't get it, but they've been contributing to the group. What happens with them? I mean, do they get upset? Do they leave? Do they have another chance next year? What percentage never gets a loan?
Yeah. So what happens if someone asks for a loan but is not ready for receiving the loan? This is the power of the group. So he will not remain alone. The group will share his dreams, his plans, his projects, and help him to better study on his project, and he will have the possibility to ask again when he will feel to be ready, when the group will feel it's ready. So this is the power of the group, which is not only technical matters. The group becomes like a little family for each one of the members.
Thank you so much. I think we'll also have a break. But before that, I want to say something. I want just to comment. I thank you because I had this opportunity to participate to two webinars about AMU. So I asked my questions. I was curious, of course, and I know more about. So today I complete again my knowledge, and I still learning. I want to know more because it's so interesting, especially those action you in Africa, and it's better also to participate now in this way, even each of us in all the world to correct this action. So online, I don't know if anyone else, even here in class, Aristotle, please, and Professor, just tell us when we have a break. Okay.
My name is Aristotle. I'm from Democratic Republic of Congo. I want to ask a small question. Before you start the project in Africa, you start by identifying the need, or you start by analyze the market in Africa? That's the question.
Well, first of all, we start from a local proposal. We never think on proposals from ourselves. We always start from a local proposal. Then we start to analyze people's needs. It frequently happens that a local organization directly propose solutions, but we first need to get to know people's needs. And I can say that many times real needs are different from those seen even from the local institution or from the local organization. So discovering people's needs is the first step. And then if market analysis is needed, we do it. If not, we don't do it. It depends on people's needs.
It's important studying the context and not just the needs, but the dreams. Because yes, we need so many things, but we need to know the dreams of the people. That is so important.
Okay, online, anyone else? Please feel free to ask your question or to make a comment, even by chat or by speaking. Okay, so 1 minute. One question more, then we can conclude and have a break. Okay, here in classroom, we have one question. Please.
Thank you, Francesco. Thank you, Leo.
Introduce yourself, please.
I'm Geneviève from Syria. In order to achieve the social impact of any organization related to economy of communion, how we can know about the contribution of AMU in Arab land, for example, because we know that there are many Arab countries now suffering from the war and after the war. And so how we can know about this contribution? Thank you.
Thank you, Geneviève. We have really a strong relation with Syria. We are working in Syria till 2011, till the start of the war. We are working, actually. We have I think 12 or 13 projects all around the country. We also are in Lebanon, and we worked in past. We worked in Jordan. We are actually working in Egypt. You can find on our website some news and come si dice, updates about projects. And I suggest also to get to know our local organizations, our local partners. In Syria, we have 160 colleagues working with us. So it's a very big network.
Thank you so much. So, Marta, you want to add something now? Okay, so thank you to everyone. Thank to us, our special guest. Thank you to my colleagues, Professor Benedetto. It's also interesting, and now we thank you all. See you next Wednesday. Next Wednesday. Thank you. Also for the translation.
Thank you to the translators.
Thank you. Thank you to all of you. See you next Wednesday. Now I can stop the